and then permit referendum clause. Look, the North has taken us for a ride for too long. They foisted federal character on Nigeria over 40 years. They foisted quota system over Nigeria over 40 years.
All right, the truth remains that the Yoruba people are now coming out to appreciate Igbos and what Igbos are doing. They are now saying it out with energy that Igbos are vital in Nigeria, that Igbos have turned everything to become wonderful place in Nigeria. Why are they being treated so bad? These things are evidence. They are all evidences. When they happen, will happen. If not one of my schoolmates that time, when they happen, will happen. So that is the thing. See, pregnancy, you cannot cover it with bare hands. They don't do that. If you try to lie, at a point you will get tired and you don't know what to lie again. If you are treating people badly, a set of people, which means you make them to start thinking otherwise, to live. But if you talk of the tribe that is truly Nigerian, it is an Igbo man. Even with all these, Igbos don't look back anywhere they are, they develop it. One of the best buildings that you see there is being owned by an Igbo man. And yet, you are not okay with an Igbo man. So it means that it's jealousy, either envy or jealousy, that is your problem and not an Igbo man. So they are coming out to speak about these things, that is a problem, or that Igbo's hands are clean. They don't do anything bad in Nigeria. Yes. So let's listen to this man. We'll come back, we'll continue.
And a young man wake up, call Nnamdi Kanu, say my people are being marginalized. You went to kidnapping in Kenya. The same thing Sunday Boy is fighting for, the same thing Aziz is fighting for, the same thing Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for. So why is Nnamdi Kanu different that you sentence him? You are beating the drum that you cannot dance. And when it comes, I and you will be here. The way you call Igbo said, Igbo never opened their mouth to say Lagos is a no man's land. That word was spoken by Alhaji Lateef Jakande, the former executive governor of Lagos State. May his soul rest in perfect peace. He said it wasn't Igbo people. Let Igbo breathe. Igbo this, Igbo that, Igbo this, Igbo that. What is wrong? You go to Ondo, go to all this northern part of Nigeria, go and see what the Igbo people do there. Go to Kano, go to Futawa Baliwa Square, go to Tafa Baliwa Street, go to Southern Kaduna, Kafansha, Kagoro, Gidanwaya, Godogodo, Mancho, go and see. In my state, in Ondo, come and see what Igbo people are doing there. Igbo people, they will turn desert to the city. But what do? I'm a Yoruba man. When Yoruba make money in abroad, they go home. They say, Lela Bosimioko. But anywhere Igbo man find themselves, that is where they belong. They build the place. So until you realize that your politician, Igbo has no problem. And I can tell you, if they separate themselves today, me and you, we are here. But why are you still afraid of giving them? Look at me. Screen record me. I don't care. I'm a typical Omo Yoruba ni mi, Abimi Londo, mo dagba sondo. Let me tell you my pedigree Londo. Emi Omo Lujo mo dobore so de owopa. So me not think say na one Igbo guy dey talk. And I've been in this job of military for 35 years. I have 2 years to go. So until we begin to tell ourselves the truth, that Igbo is not our problem, but the politician, your vice president today, these are the people that started Boko Haram, Kasim Shettima, himself and Modu Sharif. But today is your vice president. Your president's son sitting one by one with Gumi, eating cola. You didn't say anything, but you keep mentioning Igbo, 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 Igbo. You push Igbo people to the wall, and that's why they went back. Look, moderator, I'm really hot. Let me stop here, because if I'm beginning to...
Either you say you be Igbo, I be Kwere, I be Kwanle, I be Kwanyo, all of them, pata, so far. Even from Benue, anywhere in Benue where they speak beer, because Igbo people still there Benue, where military soldier people use their biro, use their Fulani biro, carve. All those carve, where they carve, carve this one, join this one, carve this one, join this one, so that you know get power. May they divide and rule. All those ones, anywhere, be a day for Kogi, be a day for.
So now, people are now, bringing ideas on how to divide Nigeria, on how to make Nigeria, better, how to divide in religious, angle, and then tribal angle and every other thing. So there are suggestions on how to do that concerning Nigeria. Let's listen to him, and you hear from the horse's mouth.
As we talk, so some people carry map of Nigeria, they spread them for in front of their on their table. Not before Nigeria here, for abroad. They look. The noise of Nigeria is too much. They kill themselves, they swallow themselves, they roast themselves. We don't want any problem in that area of the world. I want to divide them. Even our president will say they don't know where he go. Say he missed for 2 weeks. I suspect saying that this arithmetic he go do. Because they talk and say, some people say a document, leakage from the presidency is that the presidency is planning United States of Nigeria. Foul. We don't want United States of Nigeria. We want United Federations of Nigeria. We don't want United Mushroom States of Nigeria. We want United Iroko Federations of Nigeria. Say, if you go farm, you want pick mushroom now. Now cutlass they take pick up. Not be hand. Put them for basket, put them for here they go. After you don't divide yourself, finish. You say you don't finish working. You can't get United States of Nigeria, United Mushroom States of Nigeria. Then when Sharia states come, they will combine together, come they pick us one by one, they chop. No way. Now may we talk how we go divide them. Anybody who want help Nigerians now, you should know that if you want to divide Nigeria, the most important factor now is Sharia. The second one is culture and language. Now may we look at where. Now, if we want to divide Nigeria, let us follow it how we go divide them. The Sharia states of Nigeria, about 10 of them, from Zamfara to Borno, all of them will come together and form Sharia Federation of Nigeria. That's now one Iroko. Then the Middle Belt, which consists of all the minorities in the north, and even the minorities where they join majority, like Southern Kebbi, Southern Kaduna, Southern Gobe, maybe Southern Bauchi, then Adamawa and Taraba, where they join Sharia state before. All of them, they will gather them together into the Middle Belt. That is Middle Belt Iroko Federation. Then, Oduduwa Federation. Oduduwa Federation is anywhere where they call Wa, where Wa is their come. Say now Wasobia will be for. Where Wa is their come, right? Those ones, like the Yoruba speaking area of Kwara State and Kogi State, all of them go join their people waiting for Southwest now. They'll form Oduduwa Republic. From anywhere in the South, where Wa still did they hear Wa or did they speak Wa, all of them will form Oduduwa Republic. Now the East, Biafra, anywhere where they talk Bia neighbor, Bia Biko, come Joe. All of them, either you say you be Igbo, Abikwere, Abikwa Leo, Abikwanio, all of them, pata, so far, even from Benue, anywhere in Benue where they speak Bia, because Igbo people still dey Benue, where the military soldier people use their biro, use their Fulani biro, carve. All those carve, where they carve this one, join this one, carve this one, join this one, so that you know get power. May they divide and rule. All those ones, anywhere, be a day for Kogi, be a day for Benue. All of them, they will gather them together. Be a day for Delta. All the Bia where they Delta, all of them, they will gather themselves together and form Biafra Republic. Then, You get one region where they create those days, Midwestern states. That Midwest now, all the people where know they speak Bia, where know they speak Wa, where they in between Wa and Bia, all of them can form Midwestern Federation. So now we see that we can have Sharia Federation Republic, we can have Middle Belt Federation Republic, Oduduwa Federation Republic, Biafra Federation Republic, and Midwestern Federation Republic. That is 5. And these ones, each federation is a republic. So we are now United Federation of Nigeria. United Federations of Nigeria. Anybody where this one no please, then option 2 be say Sharia Republic will go by itself. Now we say we won't divide Nigeria to pieces now, where everybody will bear a name. So we have Sharia North, they will call themselves any name where they want. The Middle Belt Federation will call the name any day by its own. No, you know, it's a federation by itself. Then Oduduwa will get your federation by itself. Then Biafra will get your federation by itself. Then Midwest will get your own federation by itself. If they like, they feel sign MOU with each other. If they like, everybody there your own. Who won't go from one place to the other, go carry your own passport. Finish. So it's either that we also give and take and be reasonable and get an arrangement that will consolidate Nigeria to greatness, or if we don't agree for our craze too much, then everybody go your own way as God created us from the beginning. Now British now can bring us together in one basket. Now make God where everybody go as God created them in those days where where Yoruba and Igbo and Middle Belt day where they jollificate together. Nobody be Nigeria. So that is the thing. So if we cooperate, we'll march into greatness. If we not cooperate, we still march into greatness in pieces. That's all.
All right, many people are now speaking with one voice. Many that Nigeria has to be divided, because people know that there is no need hiding the truth anymore. Let people have their peace. Anybody that wants to practice Sharia should go on and practice Sharia. Their own country will be given to them. That is the thing. Then people that wants to practice other religions like Christianity, the Southeast, that's a religion that we know majorly, they can practice their religion in peace as well as others. Yes, so that is the suggestions that people are bringing. So, but let's watch this. When we come back, it's most likely we are going to call it a day. Thank you.
There are so many issues on this matter. The first foundation to lay is that Nigeria is not a united country, despite all the pretenses. We are not South since 1914. It has not changed. The North, at the flip of a switch, they are able to shout Northern interest. The Southerners are laid back, hoping that, oh, we are civilized. We don't want to talk about tribalism. Tribalism is at play. We are pretentious about this matter. Have they benefited from it? Only the tiny clique in the North is holding the whole country to ransom. It's enough time for Nigeria to wake up. We are not together, not plus out. Now they are talking the elite, the few elite in the North. Like if the bottle is going to be removed from their mouth. That's what they are doing. They are shouting. They are forming a group now. Lead of Northern Democrats. The governor of Bauchi was talking. They won't be able to pay salaries again. They won't be able to do that. Look, the North has damaged Nigeria fundamentally with this attitude. Who are the Nigerians who are now japping now? They are Southerners. The South invested in education massively in the 50s and the 60s. The products now are being driven out of Nigeria. Can you find the Fulani man in London or in New York practicing medicine, practicing engineering? It's Yoruba, the Igbo, Southerners that are marginalized. It's time to call the bluff of the North. Not because we even support what Tinubu is doing, but we have to converse about Nigeria. Nigeria is not, we are pretentious. Let's go to the brass tacks. That's why we are calling for regionalization. The North is separate from the South. That's just the truth. That's just the truth, unless we are deceiving ourselves. There are many issues about the tax reform. Look, the president is not focusing in the right direction. Just one item alone, inheritance tax. The North has a different perspective on Sharia. The Southwest have different customs. The East have different approach. By trying to do a unitary tax system, when we are all having a different flavor of life, is that not a voyage to nowhere? On that account alone, I will not really agree with what President Tinubu is trying to do. In all honesty, President Tinubu is focused on this tax matter. That is going to be the mantra of his administration. Let's assume that even the tax bill is passed in the next 3, 4, 5 months. Okay, what next? What next? Mr. President is taking his reputation, his political acumen on the tax bill. But there are many issues that is supposed to have faced that is not talking about. Civil service is blighted. Federal civil service in Abuja. We don't have a civil service. Civil servants are just looking to find a means to survive. They are not operating organically with the government. They are not. On a report, President said he would do it within 6 weeks, 12 weeks rather. They have done nothing about it. If you don't reform this public service and you keep giving some money to FRA to collect tax so you can spend, and then with the many issues that I can table in this in this show today. In 2023, the president announced a 500 billion naira agri project. What has happened to it? He didn't implement it. Now we have livestock ministry. I know now they are looking for offices in Abuja. When are we going to get the first cows from the livestock ministry? So overall, the focus on tax bill is totally not what Nigeria is looking at now. There are more serious issues, fundamental reform. Tax bill is not the reform that we want. The country has to be reorganized and let all of us live separately, but as good neighbors. As good neighbors. We are different. It's just a fact. We can philosophize from here to eternity. Let me just stop there right now.
Okay, and that's a good place to start. I agree with you. There's so many things that the president has to fix to make sure that Nigeria is right again. But before we move on to those things, I still want to ask you one more question on this Nigeria's tax system that has been a subject of debate for decades. With this President Tinubu's recent proposals to overhaul it significantly, tax reforms are never easy, especially in a diverse and complex country like Nigeria. Many critics fear that the proposed changes might favor certain regions or economic classes over others. Now, I'm wondering if there's any way you think these reforms can be structured to dispel these fears, to ensure inclusivity and demonstrate tangible benefits for all Nigerians. I ask this because the backlash, like you rightfully said, against these reforms, especially from some northern groups, highlights the deep-seated regional sensitivities that we have. From your perspective, is there anything that this government can do to balance the need for a tax modernization with the concerns of these regions while fostering unity and trust across the country?
The end of your statement is just the problem. We cannot be united when we are not equally yoked. We are equally yoked. We cannot be united at all. But let everybody just live according to his own worldview. Then the temperature will come down. But trying to stay in Abuja and put a package together for the whole country, from the northwest to the southeast, from the northeast to the southwest, it's not going to work. Okay, the president might use all his authority, all the presidential powers to get it through. And then what? And then what? What are the two elements in the tax reform? You are considering no tax to the lowest people, 130 million Nigerians who are destitute. Then you want to tax the big companies. The big companies are folding up. They are living in Nigeria. They cannot afford diesel to run generators. They are even the one they manufactured. no sales. There is poor demand. So who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? Is it run-down companies that will pay the tax? Anybody earning below 70,000, no tax. Okay. So where is the money coming from? And when the money comes, to be spent on what? To be spent on deficit. To be spent on paying back loans that we have taken, that we have exhausted, that we have stolen. Is that it? What are you going to use tax for? It's not tax that we... Okay, let him get it through. Fine. Let him get it through. But is that the end of the tunnel? It is not, in my opinion. But the president needs to be politely advised. It's now almost 2 years that he's been in the saddle. It's time to think. His presidential chart that he had, it was so cocksure of everything. But that's not reality at all. It's not cocksure. This February will be 2 years since he's been elected. It is time to just reappraise issues. It's hanging in the air. We on the ground, we are not feeling what he's trying to do. It might be well-meaning, but it's not in the right direction at all. So to answer your question, this tax matter will not unite Nigeria. If you consider to the north that they get more VAT, they get more VAT for doing what? They've got federal character for 40 years. What have they done with it? They've got quota for 40 years. What have they done with it? They're just being spoiled. They don't want to wake up to reality that they are not doing well. They are not performing. And when you compromise, you kill the South. The energy is being sucked out of the South in trying to remedy and carry the North along. We should be tired of carrying them along, in all honesty. Somebody has to call their bluff. There is no alternative to the South calling the bluff of the North. Absolutely.
Okay, sir. Now, I'd like to ask you two separate questions. One is about what you said earlier about what is the North doing? Because when it comes to VAT and tax exemptions, a lot of our VAT exempt goods, our foods, our agricultural products, come from the North, and they do not get VAT from that. But so I want to ask why you believe the North is being spoilt in terms of VAT when most of our food and our agricultural produce is coming from the North. The North is our food basket. And the second thing you spoke to was about where is the tax going to? Where are they spending the money on? Because a lot of Nigerians have been harping on about fiscal responsibility. That where is this money going towards? The presidency now has put forward their budget to the National Assembly, and the budget is going to be debated alongside the tax bills in this coming year. Now, the presidency the State House headquarters has budgeted 6 billion naira for purchases of new cars, 7 billion naira to build an office building for the president's own assistants. However, in the same budget, we're only seeing 250 million naira going to learning and teaching aids in the Federal Ministry of Education. So do you think that the budget also that they're trying to get this revenue for, do you think the budget is a useful way of using Nigeria's taxpayer money?
Two questions, fine. The North deliberately chose not to be organized. They are engaged in petty trading. How can you tax a petty trader on the street? How can you tax people who are just in the markets? They refused to organize. They insisted on having a Majiri system. How can a Majiri pay tax? The governor of Bauchi State confirmed that they have no institutional framework to even tax anybody on VAT. You tax, they refuse to organize even selling of cows. They are not organizing selling of onions. How do you pay VAT on that? They not refuse to organize so that it can be in the modern age where you can have corporate systems to market things. They oppose commodity systems for agri products. So how do you tax something that is not organized? They are diffused. There is no record in the markets in the North. See anywhere? Is there a market? There is no market, no organized market. That's their problem. Then that's it. As to what happened to the tax, I already answered the question. If President Tinubu gets this tax bill through now, to get money for what? Money for what? The civil service is bloated. The president was very proud to say he has 48 ministers and they are doing well. That's profligacy now. Orsay report has been there. We now have almost 1,000 parastatals in the federal government, and they are doing nothing. I live in Abuja. Civil servants are just on the streets trying to say how they can buy a house for 50 million, 100 million. That's what Abuja is. Abuja is for you to just make money and buy houses. Nobody is interested in a proposal to reform the system. Another civil servant, they are not interested in their jobs anymore. And you cannot blame them because the environment is too harsh for a public servant, the way I was in service 24 years ago. So the budget is just a symptom. We are not interested in doing anything serious with the money we are going to get. In any case, over the years, Nigeria is sitting on massive corruption. The president said he will not probe the military because he respects them. That's fair. What happened to the fuel subsidy claim under Jonathan? Have we looked into it? Look, there are so many reports of public stealing. Nigeria Airways water panel report, CMS report, Alibotin report. Even all the things recovered by AFCC, who knows what happened to them? There's a place in Abuja where almost 400 cars just abandoned, AFCC impounded. So there's so much waste in the system. Try to make more money to cover the waste. It's totally misdirected in my own reckoning. We need to really discuss the fabric of the Nigerian society. We don't need more money at all. The money we already have is enough if applied wisely. If applied wisely. Too many assets are wasting away. And getting more loans and getting more taxes to just pap over the system is totally, I don't understand. I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand.
All right, Dr. Fakunda. It looks to me like a lot of people might consider your submissions a bit concerning. You know, the way that you are addressing issues that have to do with the northern part of the country. When you say that we are different, does it appear to you that it might sound like you are trying to breed division? Does it appear to you like you are in a way sounding like Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, who is of Nigerian parentage and who says that, you know, have got nothing in common with the North, and that they were even enemies, you know, of where she comes from, which is of the Yoruba stock. You, of course, will have noticed the backlash that attracted, and people criticize that that's not the spirit that Nigeria is trying to work on. So when you base your argument of regionalization on the fact that we can be together, even though we can be good neighbors, don't you think, sir, that you might make things a bit difficult for somebody like President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is Yoruba and who has been accused anyway of trying to Yorubanize the entire machinery of government? And therefore, if you are proposing to him that he should do more of restructuring that regionalizes, wouldn't that appear as anti-North? Anti-North at a time that key northern elements are saying that no, come 2027, it doesn't look like we'll support you. Aren't you making things a bit difficult for a Yoruba man like yourself, sir, who's the president?
Thank you very much. It's a fact that we are divided. We pretend that it's totally, I don't understand it. The North knows what they want, and the South are reluctant to say what they want. President Tinubu is about to put all the cards on the table, trying to pepper over it and say we are united. Of course, we are not united. We are not united. We are divided. That's just the truth. I've told you now that the North brought federal character. The South agreed to okay, fine, we are united. Where is the result of it? The North brought quota system. Southerners agree with it. It's in the Constitution. What is the result? If we now bring in tax to say, okay, get more VAT in the North at the expense of the South, so what will be the result? The division will continue until we remove the feeding bottle, let everybody just work according to his own dictates. The North sincerely believes in Sharia. We should not grow them for that purpose now. We should let them be. They want Sharia. In the South, there are Muslims. We don't want Sharia. Somebody brought up something in Oyo to do Sharia in Oyo. Everybody put it down. The Muslims in the South don't want Sharia. So why are we pretending? In the Southeast, some few Muslims, but they don't want Sharia. Let's accept who we are. Let's accept reality so that we'll not stop talking and Motion without movement. That's what it is. I'm not ashamed. Okay, look, if President Tinubu succeeds now, 2027, 2031, every Yoruba person in Abuja will be cleaned out of the system. Because Buhari started with Fulani. He is doing Yoruba now. Let the Igbos come. We cannot block the Igbos if they put 99% in all positions too. Is that the way we are building the country? Let Yoruba man go and rule Yoruba land. Let the North agree on who will rule Northwest. Let the Kanuri rule Northeast. Let the Igbos rule the Southeast. Let the South agree. Then the temperature will come down. I will not want to be running federal election with 200 million naira form because I have to run from Sokoto to Ikotekpene. I will campaign as a premier of Western region where people know me and I know them. I know what they want. The Southwest want to bring all Yorubas who are Japan, bring them back to Nigeria. Nigeria is too hostile for the Yorubas now. Nigeria is a poisoned environment for Yoruba because we invested in education so much and we have lost all the human beings. They are developing other societies. The North will not care less. How many doctors do they have in United States? How many doctors do they have in Europe? These are facts I'm put on the table now. I don't need to sugarcoat anything at all. We are divided. Let's just accept it. It's no fight. It's no war. The North will come up on their own. We will respect each other. But this matter of trying to play some games, President Tinubu is better. In fact, if he runs only one term and he brings this temperature down, his name will go down in history. But if he does not do anything in the next 6 months about restructuring, and he goes to use all the money to run election in 2027 and he wins, and then what? Yorubas will become endangered in the political system because once he leaves, then Nigeria is not safe for Yoruba again.
Sorry,
let the Igbos come. They have right to come too.
Sorry, because you've spoken about.
Has come out.
I'd like to confirm.
Let the Igbos come.
I wanted to confirm something because you said Yorubas.
So let the Igbos come, and they just have to be allowed to rule too. And they were entitled to have all Igbos in all positions at that time too. That's what we are going to get if you are going the way we are going now. There's nothing. I don't need to be a prophet to say so.
Okay, I think we're having technical difficulties there, so we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back, so do stay with us. Well, welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. We are on with Dr. Fabanda, who is coming to us, joining us from our studio in Abuja. Dr. Fabanda, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Now, right before our break, you said that Yoruba people would be endangered after a Tinubu presidency. I wanted to understand that. And also because you have been speaking about, maybe it's the Igbo's turn or the North turn or the Southwest turn. But Nigeria is a very diverse country that belongs to not only the major tribes, but also, the minorities as well. So do you feel that this regionalism also gives a fair share, an equitable power share to minor tribes, people from smaller tribes like the Efik, the Ibibio, the Bini?
Absolutely. In fact, I belong to a new body that is coming up in the next few weeks. Western Region Organization. Look, we need only 3 things to alter the constitution of Nigeria. Alter the constitution to permit regions to have their own subsidiary constitution in the way they like it. Secondly, alter the fundamental list of functions, exclusive list, concurrent list, and residual, and then permit referendum clause. Look, the North has taken us for a ride for too long. They foisted federal character on Nigeria over 40 years. They foisted quota system over Nigeria over 40 years.
All right, my people, we are done with this particular session of this video today. Well, I am still Chinedu, and if you have anything you want to tell us in the comment section. Until I come your way next time, I say bye for now. Have a nice day.